Alright, so what this video is just me giving a little further thoughts on the Teen Titans supposedly live-action show. Now, a few things have come into light, and I'm going to talk a little, and that's why I'm going to talk a little further. Now, I did not know this, and I kind of skim-read the first article, yeah, guilty as charged, that yes, we are getting Nightwing as the leader of the team. Everyone else is kind of up in the air. I'm still pushing for a pseudo-version of the George Perez run. Now, the other thing people have noted is that, and also some people at the CW have been like, yeah, we could do it, is that TNT is under Warner Brothers, same as the CW. So it's possible that the Teen Titans, or just Titans show, could be under, the same universe as Arrow and The Flash, which I think would be really cool. Now, that, however, leaves kind of it open-ended to another thing, is that we probably still won't get Wally West. Well, actually, no, we actually might get Wally West, but he may be a little too young. That's my biggest problem, is that he may be a little too young, but maybe they'll cheat and say, oh, he's Impulse. That's our cheat right there. That's my biggest thing, is that I think they'll just cheat and say he's Impulse. I don't think they'll do that, but it's always in the back of my mind. So we could get a very young Wally. I'm still pushing for, Beast Boy, Starfire, Raven, and those three right there. I think that's a given. If you're going to have, because again, I don't think we'll see, Beast Boy, Raven, and Starfire in a big screen continuity. I don't think they'll be in the big movies. So, and Jeff Johns, Jeff Johns is pretty much in charge of everything DC on the DC small screen and big screen. He's pretty much the end-all, be-all guy. And let me say this: as much as I do not like the New 52, if anyone out there likes it, that's totally fine. No ill will against you. I personally have kind of gone separate ways with the New 52. But however, I will say this: Jeff Johns continuously, despite everything, the little gripes I have with the New 52, Jeff Johns continues, bad grammar there, he continues to be an awesome person, and I'm really glad he's in charge of, not only the small screen, of a majority of the small screen stuff. He's pretty much the showrunner for the Flash live-action show, and he's doing a lot of stuff for Arrow as well. I know he and Stephen Amell collaborate on a lot of off-screen stuff here and there, and I'm pretty damn sure, since he did a pretty successful run in Teen Titans, he's going to have a major say in that. So I would not. There's no doubt in my mind that he would be all up for having characters like Raven, Beast Boy, and Starfire in this set continuity. And I think he would also be very open to the idea of having, since it's under TNT and the other shows under CW, I think he would be like, yeah, let's do it. So I think that's really cool. Now, in terms of other characters, you could now the biggest thing is that let's talk about the two, and let me talk about the elephant in the room. The one character on the George Perez run we probably won't see on the Titans as much as he's an essential Titans character: Cyborg. Let me say this: Cyborg on the Justice League from the get-go I just never really liked that. I just kind of like the idea of him being a Teen Titans member and then gradually, upgrading to the Justice League. I've always been fine with that, if his character evolving to that level. However, him just going from the Justice League to the get-go just you kind of mess with all the continuity he had with the Teen Titans. He was such an essential Teen Titans character. And again, I don't mind him, jumping over to the Justice League, because obviously that character got older, but yeah, just saying from the get-go, oh, he's always been Justice League, screw the Teen Titans, never really boded well with me. Anywho, so I don't know if we'll get Cyborg on this team. That's my biggest problem, is that, we may not get Cyborg on this team, and yeah, that really sucks. There's a possibility of Donna Troy. I think that would be really cool. There's a possibility of Donna Troy. I think there's also a possibility of Aqualad. And there may be a possibility of Arsenal. Well, yeah, I think if this is going to be connected to the Flash and Arrow continuities, I think it's a very good possibility that they could easily put Roy on this team. You could say that Roy, when he's Arsenal, he joins this team. So you could, yeah, if this does happen, and again, it's an if. Nothing's really confirmed. I think that Roy would be a nice fit on the team, and also this would be a place where you could have Wally in here. So yeah, that's pretty much what I think what would happen. Now another thing is if this universe does get connected to Arrow and Flash. Another thing is that now we already have a set Deathstroke. Now the big thing is Deathstroke is obviously Nightwing's, Dick Grayson's big enemy. He's his pretty much big enemy. I know Grayson currently in the Grayson comics they're trying to say, oh well, we're going to give him an official villain. He's already had one. His name is Slade Wilson. So the big thing is he's obviously arch enemy to Oliver in this universe. But what's to say? Because remember, Slade he spent a lot of time. 5 years passed before he ran into Oliver again. What's to say in those 5 years he didn't cross paths with Nightwing? Back when Dick was Robin. He was working on a mission with Batman. Deathstroke was there. Him and Deathstroke fought when he was young as Robin, and Slade beat the shit out of him, and that kind of started that kind of whole rivalry between the two. So yeah, you could set Deathstroke in here in that 5-year gap that him and Dick had already had that rivalry during the 5-year gap before he returned and tried to destroy Oliver's life. What's to say, Deathstroke has never really, even though he's a Teen Titans villain, I kind of consider more of a DC Universe villain because he's an enemy to Batman, he's an enemy to Wonder Woman, he's an enemy to even Superman and Green Lantern. He's an enemy to a lot of people. So I think they could easily pass off the whole idea of having Slade be a multi-villain because again, Oliver clearly had a lot of adventures in that 5-year time gap. What's to say Slade didn't and came across a young Dick Grayson that fueled their rivalry? Again, this is going on the assumption that they will decide to connect the two universe. Connect the Flash and Green Arrow universe with the Titans universe. Again, assuming this show does get off. Man, I am saying a lot of ifs for this show. Another thing is that obviously there's some major cosmic stuff, but however, and some obviously supernatural stuff if you're gonna, because obviously one season, if this show gets off, they're gonna have to do a whole season dedicated to the Trigon story arc. They're gonna have to do that. We all know this. They're gonna do the Trigon. They're gonna have to do a whole season of Trigon. And yeah, now the good thing is since it's on TNT, TNT has a bigger budget. They actually have stuff that is movie-worthy at some points, obviously with Falling Skies and that other show that was done by Michael Bay. So, yeah, I think they have a bigger budget to play around with the other stuff. You could do the first episode with the Gordanians. You could bring in, Blackfire, have some really cool fights between her and her sister. You could bring in, so many characters in here that, in CW it would just be like, I don't know if I'm feeling this or not. Whereas TNT, they got a bit of a bigger budget. So I'm kind of fine with that. The more I talk about it, the more I'm like, man, at the first time, in my first video I talked about the whole Teen Titans getting a live action show, I was like, I don't know. But the more I talk about it and the more I think about it, I'm like, yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. Again, this is assuming that, the pilot goes through and all is well, and TNT says yes, and it is connected to the Arrow and Flash universe. So, and that's, again, a big if, because, again, DC shows are very fickle. It's not like with the Marvel shows where like, oh, you're saying you're doing that? Okay, we're going to see it soon. Obviously with the Daredevil shows and everything else building up to Defenders. And whereas DC, where half the stuff we've heard about doesn't really happen. Like, oh, we're going to do a Dead Man show. That didn't happen. Oh, we're going to do an Hour Man show. Oh, that didn't happen. What else didn't happen? I have a list. There is a list, people. I'm still surprised that Constantine, the Constantine show is still going, is still a go. And also, the other thing is that the Supergirl show is apparently greenlit. It's all good to go. I'm still, but again, I'm waiting for a trailer to get officially hyped at all for that, and the same with Teen Titans. But then again, I'm kind of trapping myself into the hype. That's the sad part. So, yeah. But in a perfect world, yes, this would be the Titans TV show would be on TNT, would have an amazing, great TV budget. Not like HBO worthy, but still a really good TV budget. And it would be connected to Arrow and Flash. That, in a perfect world, that's what we would be getting. So, yeah. But sometimes we just don't live in a perfect world, especially for superhero TV shows. So what do you guys think of all this? Do you guys want Teen Titans to be connected to the Arrow and Flash continuity on CW? And what do you still think the roster is going to be? Again, we know who Nightwing is. We know who Nightwing's going to be. We know... And that's really actually all we know. So who else do you think would be on the team, and who do you think would not be able to be on the team because some characters have to be on the Justice League movie roster? Ta-da! Anyway, so yeah. Once again, I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will see you guys later.